Alright, I'm once again here bringing you guys a update on the tropics. Today we're going to be focusing especially on Sally, as it is the one closest to land and bringing the current impacts. Before I start this video, I do want to say that I have joined the weather community, so if you want to check more videos from me, do go ahead and subscribe. I'll have a link down in the description to that channel. First off, Tropical Sally has formed this morning, and Tropical Depression had formed yesterday. Also today, we did get the weakening of Renee to a Tropical Depression, but we also got the formation of Tropical Depression 20. That means we now have 4 tropical systems in the Atlantic at the same time, as well as 97L, which has a 60% chance of forming, and this has a disturbance with a 30% chance of forming. Alright, so here's the latest, of course, on Tropical Depression Sally. Sally moving slowly away from extreme South Florida. Storm surge and hurricane watch is issued for portions of the Northern Gulf. So starting off, I just want to show a little bit where those impacts have occurred in terms of tropical slow force winds wise. Now, currently, we do have a very, very small wind field, although it could be much bigger. But you can see here, according to this, the Keys and the southern part here of the Florida Peninsula there did get some tropical storm warnings. Now, based on recon observations, which I will show later, the storm is basically moving like this, right? They found the center, so here, then here, then here, here, and now they found the center like this. So it's basically kind of going a lot more east than expected, and we could actually see this going more like this, or at least staying closer to Florida instead of what we originally thought, where we thought it was going to go a lot more like this. So there's a pretty good chance the center seems to be around here at the moment. So there's a pretty good chance it actually comes a lot closer, if not impacts in the Mississippi Panhandle area. Still a possibility. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and look at the track, and then we'll look at the potential rainfall, which could be a disaster. Here's the track currently for the system, and as you can see, they're expected to remain a tropical storm before becoming a hurricane there, as they make landfall pretty much on the Louisiana-Mississippi border. Hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings are in effect for that area, and then likely staying a tropical storm into Mississippi, and then weakening to tropical depression in Alabama. Now, keeping in mind, tropical storm watches are also in effect for most of the Florida Panhandle border. Alright, so now let's take a look at that U.S. rainfall potential, which could be an absolute disaster. This could make this storm an absolute disaster. Currently, right now, we're getting 1 to 4 inches at most in Florida. But look at this. Again, the center's around here right now. Look at this. As it moves generally like this, look at the disaster we could be seeing. We could be seeing up to 20 inches here, okay? And then inland, we could be seeing 10 inches, even 15 inches there in some areas right here. And then we could be seeing 4 inches spreading all the way into Mississippi, all the way into the Panhandle, 6 inches spreading pretty far out too. And then we're just going to get massive flooding for the entire Florida Peninsula. And really, we're going to be seeing tremendous amount of flooding to just pretty much anywhere from Florida Panhandle to the Louisiana coast. It's just going to be getting tremendous amount of flooding with pretty much this entire area, which I'm drawing out right now. You guys are just going to be getting tremendous amount of flooding here. Even right there, all of you guys are just going to be getting quite a bit of flooding, even moving inland as it moves generally like this. You can see some potential flooding threats here, spreading also near the Georgia border. So definitely something to keep a very close eye on. Now, in terms of flash flooding potential, currently only a 10% slight of flash flooding, but that is likely to go up. We do have, again, the flash flooding potential Louisiana all the way into Florida Panhandle and the southern coast of Florida there. Also, a marginal potential spreading pretty far out as well from that system, of course. Okay, peak storm surge, also usually a big threat. We're expecting quite a bit, not too much, but as much as 69 feet, which obviously can be devastating. if you're leaving in low-lying areas near the coast, but potentially 6 to 9 feet there on the Louisiana coast. So really a significant amount of storm surge, and 1 to 3 feet spreading all the way into the west coast of Florida. But really, we're going to be seeing the most amount of storm surge in this little bay kind of area here, up to 4 to 9 feet from the Mississippi-Alabama border all the way into the mouth of the Mississippi River. There, we're going to be seeing in Lake Borgne 6 to 9 feet, in Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas 2 to 4 feet. So really, a pretty good amount of potential storm surge. Again, especially if you're living in those low-lying outer banks there, which could be up with the rainfall, where we could be seeing up to 15 to 20 inches of rainfall, as well as a couple of feet of storm surge. That could be definitely bringing some potential storm surge threat. Okay, so now we're about to take a look at that satellite imagery, and we can see we do have a brand new blow up over the center, and really we've really been waiting for that to happen, because the convection had been concentrated to the south of the system for really a couple of days now, and we're just waiting for that blow up of convection over the center to happen. So currently the center is actually right here, right? And the convection had been to the south of that, but now we're getting that brand new blow up over the center. You can see here we had just a tiny bit of rotation. We had close to an exposed center, but not anymore, not anymore. We now have that center nice and covered. Still a little bit, but I think we're going to be getting a new blow up. We're going to get that convection here to the south dying down, and we're going to be getting a brand new blow up of convection to the north of the system there. And as it moves generally, you can see it has a very good shape to it, etc. And I know Key Largo, this general area, has really been getting a significant amount of overall impacts from the system. Okay, so here now our look at the spaghetti models for the system, and generally expected to move in this general direction for the next 24 to 48 hours before taking a curve a little bit like this. And most models, again, do bring this as a Louisiana landfall, but of course that can change. As we always seen this morning, the models were kind of going like this, maybe hinting at this going back out. We're not seeing this anymore. A couple models still potentially bring it to the Panhandle. Seems a little bit more unlikely. Definitely the Mississippi border possible, and all the way apparently into. So if you had to make a cone for this, of course, we're getting impact stretching pretty far out. If we had to literally make a cone, taking into account all of those models, here's what the cone looked like. That's how big it would be. We would be getting a very big cone for potential impacts, but still, nonetheless, we're not getting models going like this and like this and like this. So we're pretty certain on where this is going generally, possibly as a Louisiana landfall. Alrighty, now as of the intensity guidance, we have a little bit of two groups. I always say that. I'm always like, there's a little bit of two groups. Where we have that again. We have the first group kind of keeping it as a low tropical storm, just kind of keeping it around 40 to 50 miles per hour like it currently is. And then we have the second group strengthening it all the way up to Cat 1 status and then weakening. Only one model brings it to Category 2, and I definitely agree. I personally think it will very likely strengthen to Category 2, and rapid intensification is possible up to Category 3 status. And Recon, believe it or not, Recon actually did not even go in the worst part of the system. You remember, look, this is the system, right? This is the center right here, okay? Recon came from here. They went in the center right here. They came back here. They went like this, came back in the center, did this, left. That's all they did, pretty much. They did not go in this entire area. Okay, they only went pretty much in this square right here. This is the only area they went in. Can you see all this convection that we had here? We could have tropical storm force wind in this entire southern area. But guess what? Recon just did not go in there. You can see where Recon went, found 1,004 millibars. Came in, right? It came in. You can see it come in. It came in there. Oops. Came in. Took a center pass. Went like this. Went like that. Took another pass, went like this, took another center pass, came back out. That's all it did, really. That's really all it did right here. You can see it once again here. All it did is this, right? That is literally all it did. it just went like this and then came back out. So there's not even any convection where they went. No cloud cover, nothing. They didn't even go in that convection. You can see it. They didn't even go in the convection blow up, which to me is just crazy because they miss what we could have been seeing 50 to 60 mile per hour. They just missed it, and now all we know is that it has 1,004 millibars, and it doesn't have any tropical force winds close to the center of it. That's all we know. That's really all we know because this is all 10 knots. That's nothing. We got the worst we got here was 34 knots, and that's it. So that brings it to like 39 mile per hour. But didn't even go. So will the National Hurricane keep at 40 mile per hour? Probably, but it could even weaken into a tropical depression because they're going to be like, well, they didn't find any tropical force wind, which is just, this is what happened with Flora. They downgraded it from 45 to 40 because Recon didn't go in the convection, and all they found is 10 to 20 knots. So it is just crazy. Anyways, so now we're getting to our forecast. Now, this is a little bit of an old forecast because it was still a tropical depression, but I'm still expecting us to make a Category 2 landfall. I'm still this has probably shifted a notch here. I do think it's going to be going a little bit more into Louisiana instead of Mississippi now. So this is as of this morning. You can see the old model tracks on the yellow dotted line, by the way. And again, this really hasn't changed much. I still think it will become a Category 2 hurricane, if not higher. So that was just the old predictions for this. So yeah. All right, so now we're going to quickly look at those models for potential development. So here's the European model's take on this. As I always say, I'm going to bring the surface up just so that we can know a little bit more where the system's located. So you can see it there moving through, most likely high up in the atmosphere, according to this, only a tropical storm, which obviously is probably wrong. But either way, we're mostly looking at the potential landfall point, and the European model brings a landfall a bit south of New Orleans, and then actually it kind of brings the eye on New Orleans, and then kind of stays there for a while before really starting to move out. So that's the European take on this. On the other hand, the GFS has a different story. Has a whole lot different story, potentially a stronger storm. So here's it on Sunday from the GFS. Again, a little bit out to date, not very accurate, but either way, here it is. What happens if I go all the way up? Just wondering. Oh, okay. Trying to find the best place to really see where it is, if that makes sense. We'll just leave it on here. Like right here. Anyways, so you can see it there again moving through, and then by Monday, it actually continues again, kind of like the European model, coming towards New Orleans, and then actually makes a landfall. Pretty much, it actually goes over the New Orleans area. And then moves north, so pretty similar to the European model. Now, very quickly, the NAM's like, nah. The NAM's like, this is going to be a hurricane. And I totally agree with this. Look at that. They show it remaining a tropical storm. And then they show it actually strengthening into potentially a hurricane. And I agree so much with that, guys. I just think it's honestly probably accurate. Already here 90 mile per hour, of course in higher up in the atmosphere. You can see there up to 100 miles per hour, 105, and then here right before that landfall point, it's now up again in the 120s, almost 110, 120, and then as it approaches landfall, weakens slightly. So let's go back to when it was in those like 110, 120s right there. And then if we drop it down at the surface, as you can see at surface level, it has about 70 knots, 70. So it's actually a Cat 1 hurricane at landfall according to this at the surface. So probably a stronger mid Cat 1 about, probably in the 80 to 90 mile per hour. So very close to a Cat 2 hurricane according to this. But definitely at least a Category 1 hurricane. which again, I agree so much with. Okay, so lastly, we're going to take a quick look at Cyclocene, just to see a bit of all the spaghetti models from the entire world, and then I'll end off this video. But here from this, you can see there, you can see all of some of the spaghetti models for this system. And again, National Hurricane Center is still going with a, let's see here. Oh, actually stronger. They're going with a 75. They're going with an 85. Wait. Yeah, they're now going with an 85 mile per hour landfall. So it used to be a 75, then it was a 70, then a 75, then an 80. So now they're going with an 85 mile per hour landfall. But you can see the models. They're going pretty closely with the models, of course. And then you can see the models for Paulette again. Most likely going to go over Bermuda as a Cat 1 or Cat 2. And then the models for Tropical Depression 20, all over the place. But National Hurricane Center kind of took them, probably going out to sea. And then that's pretty much it. You can also see the models for Invest 97L also going out to sea. So good news in that. Lots of things going out to sea this season. Well, for now, thankfully. Okay, so as always, don't forget to subscribe for more update like this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one.